Alright. Nós tá back ng FLORIN Talk episode number 10. In the house. Nós llega episode 10. Very exciting moments. E hasta hora kung nós ding episode 10. You never know what's gonna happen. Kiko último twist ng kuposososde in a New York minute. Dus at nós kinang nós tawating guest lined up para tarde. Helaas tawating certo circunstância ng last minute ku não pode make it. Ela pedi nosi para nos postpone para next time. Dus nos lo vai reschedule Mario Agumbero di pensioenfonds tourism sector Aruba. Dus don't worry, he will be back. A lot of interesting topics que nos lo quero discuss con ele. And in the meantime, nos durante el día nos logra hacer some magic. Y nos logra haya después de plan B, C, D, E, de que bonica LM no se llega na alternative guest. Just nos está very appreciative de nos guest de avetari kuta Ross Brezovar. Prometo me vai na Ross. Me tenho naturalmente introduzir mi co-host de avetari, Arlen, bom tarde.
Bom tarde, Chita, como é?
Muito bom. Wat é?
Tem,
right. Sí, Atlanta também nos mistra trove in the last minute, tem sentido que switcheroo que nos hasi, dus para nos preparar para a também, but no worry, nos também magically rock episode aqui. Ross, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, welcome, Ross. Thank you for being a guest here on our episode number 10 of FLORIN Talk. Very much appreciated that you're on the show. We are excited, even though it's last minute, but your story is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm glad I was available.
All right, awesome. So before, let's start. Let's dig in. We're going to do it in English papiamento today, mostly English, maybe a little bit of papiamento, but I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to hear your story. Arlen.
Hi, Ross.
Hey there, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Good, I'm good, thank you.
So the first question is going to come from Arlen to Ross.
So we are going to start with the first question, Ross. Who is Ross Brezovar?
Oh my, I don't think we have enough time, do we?
Well, we have 60 minutes.
All right. Ross Brezovar. Well, I have been a transplant on this beautiful island back since I opened the Hyatt Regency in 1991. Got married here in 92, so we'll be celebrating 30 years there in September next month.
Oh, cool.
Nice. And I've worked in the hospitality industry pretty much most of my life and most of my career here in Aruba until I ventured out on my own in 2000. Well, it was 2000 actually. So, company's been around for just celebrated 21 years in February.
Okay.
And, 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife.
All right. Awesome. A Y2K kid, the company is.
Exactly.
All right. So, Ross, you said that obviously you mentioned the word before you ventured in. So it would be interesting to hear from your side what were your previous work experiences. You talked a little bit about hospitality, right? But obviously hospitality can be very broad. So by all means, we would be very interested in hearing your work experience story.
All right, no worries. Well, I've been in since probably 18. My first hotel job was a bar back, and I was a lifeguard at another resort. I've worked multiple positions all the way up to my last 2 positions. I was the assistant general manager of both the Divi and Cameron resorts from 2003 to 2007, and then I was hired as the director of resort technologies for all 3 Marriott properties here in Aruba. And I've been on the opening staff of at least 5 different hotels.
Okay. All right, so that's so basically a little bit of everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, all
exactly.
right. And then obviously, even though you've been working here in the hospitality, gaining all your different experiences, going through the different chains and ranks, but then eventually you decided, you know what? I think I'm gonna go on my own. So you laugh. So what made you decide to go on your own?
Well, first of all, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much all my life. My first stint was middle school when I would go to the store. I'd buy those wrap candies and I'd take the wrapping and then sell individually for a profit so I could go back and get different flavors for the kids until the principal shut me down. So I've been an entrepreneur in that spirit for pretty much all my life. In 2000, when I got here, I was just fresh out of college with a degree in information technologies. I'd been dabbling in websites, so that's where I started. I started my company. But with two kids, we ended up, back in the workforce. And because of my previous experience in hotels, that's what brought me into Aruba here, into those various positions that I worked. And 2008, 2009, when the financial hit the fan, I actually got packaged out for my last position, and I decided to stay on my own and take it from there. I bought a company and then it continued the one that I had started in 2000 and built it up to where we are today.
Okay. Because that is interesting because obviously you've been on the island then for what was it then? 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, if I did the math right. I should be doing the math right. If I'm not, then yeah.
So I came here in 90 for 2 years, then we left and we came back in 98. So other than a few years in Curacao, I've been here 20 plus years.
Okay. But still, you decided to take over a company, right? What was that like? Because obviously, it's a small island. You're starting a new business. Yep. How were you trying to attract your customers? Was there a specific strategy? Did you do a specific research? Did you have sufficient network? So how did you approach that in terms of trying to attract clients for your business?
All right. Well, if I start with the business that I'm currently doing, the digital marketing and website, we started, like I said, 20 plus years ago. That was just word of mouth and just meeting people. That was basically what I did. And then people got to know who I am and what we did.
So
and built it from there.
So just to go back, so you started your first company was in digital marketing, right?
Yeah, 20 years ago it was only websites because back then we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have mobile marketing, none of that existed.
Well, that is exactly my question, because back then what would you label digital marketing? And I think you obviously answer it right away.
It was only websites.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. But then obviously, okay, I got it. And then obviously, like you said, it was mainly word of mouth. And obviously through your work, you try to attain, or keep your clients. And obviously trying to attract by the quality of the work that you do to other clients, right?
Absolutely correct. And as far as the company I bought, that was a secondary company after the package I received. It was an existing company that already had tremendous, customers, big customer base. And it just happened timing wise that it was up for sale at the moment I had some money in my pocket and decided to buy it. So, I didn't really have to worry too much about customer, getting customers. Is more about keeping them, and keeping the client, the employees that we had, that were doing a good job and maybe even making it better.
Okay.
So, I ended up selling my company to the team.
So, that's one question I was going to ask too, right? So what made you decide purchase a company instead of trying to incorporate a new one? but obviously you tell all the story already, so it makes it difficult for us to raise any questions. It just happens to be that it was up for sale, and it was a perfect moment for you, right?
That's correct. And the research, I had done research into the industry a couple of years before, so I already knew pretty much what I was looking for. And the fact that it was the biggest on the island, it had a great customer base, cash flow was good. It wasn't too difficult to make the decision to do it.
Okay, got it. So that was 2008, 2009 when you purchased that company.
Correct.
And you were doing websites only, or were you doing something else besides the website in terms of marketing?
Yeah, so those are two different companies. So the websites, we just continued to educate ourselves as the technology changed. So first it was websites, educating people as to why they needed a website, and then it became mobile marketing and why that was important. And then, of course, social media came along and why that was important and how to do it. And to the point we are now where we do a lot of automation development to actually help make the marketing process easier for our clients. So it's a constant, re-education because the marketplace changes every 10 minutes. So.
Okay. A lot of things happening there. Going from websites to mobile marketing, to social marketing, and then to social media marketing, and then to automation of the different marketing methods that are present. So how did you experience all of those? I mean, what did you have to do as an entrepreneur, as a business, to prepare yourself to make sure that you're prepared to sell all these different types of services to the client?
I think primarily the most important part is just to keep up with what's going on in your industry. And then once you find something that's either attractive for your market or a necessity, like when Facebook launched, everyone had to just be on Facebook because that was it. From a marketing standpoint, you just needed to just continue educating ourselves. We never stopped. I mean, we just had a big workshop for part of our team on Thursday. It was a full-on 8-hour, actually 9 hours by the time it's finished, and it was on automation and marketing funnels. And just simply because things constantly change in our industry, so we need to make sure that our clients have the best, or at least understand what these changes are and how it impacts us, and then go from there. So it's just constantly educating ourselves and keeping up with what's going on in our industry.
And that you feel you've always been ahead of the game compared to your competitors here in Aruba, or you feel you're catching up?
Well, 20 years ago, I was one of only two on the island that was building websites at the time, and people back then would say, "What do we need a website for?" So I think we've always been sort of ahead of the local market, and I'd like to think we're ahead of the competition. We have some projects we're working on now that we don't see here in Aruba at the moment. So, we're just hoping that our ability to not only learn, obviously, what's going on and become good at it, but then present it in a way that our customers or our customer base would get results out of it.
So, Ross, what makes your marketing different from the others?
That's a good question. I do think that what we have seen in the marketplace is a lot of people coming on saying that they can do marketing from personal experience of maybe working with, let's say, Instagram or Facebook, for instance. Since they feel they know how to post, then they can offer their services to be able to actually do that for a client. What we actually do is it's not just about posting, but it's about the content and where you're posting and where you're spending money. If you're advertising, which now is more important than ever, you have to pay to play in most of the markets we're in. So you can't just post and assume someone's going to find you. You have to do the research to know exactly who your demographic is, who your avatar is, and then be in the right place with the right message, at the right time. So I think what sets us apart is we're constantly educating ourselves and then making sure that what we're presenting to our clients is the best that they can get so they can actually see a return on what they're spending money on.
Do you feel like there's a lot of social media companies that that are new to the market? And the reason I ask is what you just stated, right? So people just think, hey, no, I just need to post and come up with creative posts or beautiful pictures and videos and hope that advertising can work or not. Do you feel like that is something that has grown in the last few years, and is that a threat to you, or do you feel like because of the education that you guys do, eventually you will outperform them?
Right. That's a good question. And to the first part, yes, it's been in the last few years. There's been a tremendous amount of sort of new companies.
Yeah, because I see a lot of a lot of media companies that are out there, right? So, and that's why Arlen asked, what makes you different? So, why would I go with Ross and not with company ABC?
Well, I think it's our experience. The fact that we've been around for so long, and it started from the bare bones minimum, from website development to mobile marketing to social media to automation and funnel development. We understand what goes into a marketing campaign. So it's not just I'll give you a great example. There's a big name fast food chain on the island that had a great program. And when I would go to where they would say to go by clicking or doing, it would take me to a page or the Facebook page, but not a specific part of the funnel that was only about that one thing. So I would get to the Facebook page and go, okay, now what do I do? Where do I actually find the information that you're telling me I need to sign up for? And that's a waste of money, in my opinion. If you're driving traffic or trying to drive traffic and you're spending a tremendous amount of money on it, and I can tell you for sure that they are or were, it's wasted dollars, because it took me to a general location as opposed to a specific location of exactly what I was interested in that you were trying to sell me. And if I can't find it, I get frustrated. I'm scrolling and can't find the information I need. I'm done, right? So, trying to get me back now is going to take a lot more energy and money to do so.
What is funnel, Ross?
All right, so funnel.
Yeah, because you were talking about funnels, and Alena and I are going like, what? we're accountants, we're not marketeers. And I'm sure podcast listeners they probably have the same question too. So, all
right. Well, so the way it should work, and I'll take the example that I just gave. A funnel is a thought-out process, a flow, for lack of a better word. That once we've identified the avatars, the demographics, who we're targeting, what do we want them to do?
Avatars,
where do we want them to go?
Avatars, your demographics, right?
Yeah, an avatar is something that every company should think about creating, which is when they create a marketing message, who specifically are they talking to? And that avatar is actually, it's not just a man or a woman, but it's like a man at this age, this part of his life, maybe in this kind of position. So the message is extremely clear, and it helps because if it's a woman who's in a younger, maybe a 19-year-old girl does not see the same value in that, we don't want that person anyways, because that's not the right person that we would want for the service that's being sold, right?
Right.
So that's why you really hone in on creating that avatar.
Okay,
but
got it.
A funnel is that entire process. So let's say I spend money on an ad campaign and I'm targeting X demographic. Mm-hmm. When they see that ad, what happens next? If they click on it, does it take them to a landing page? Mm. Does it automatically open up a chat in Messenger, for instance, that guides them through the sales process? The funnel might include what after the call to action, what happens if they go to the page that has where the information is to buy? What happens after they buy? Are they tried to be upsold, meaning that another offer come in? If they don't take the upsell, do they take the downsell? So there's a whole process of deciding and designing what that whole flow looks like in a funnel so that we know where they start and maybe even where they get stuck, which is why I love automation. we're able to automate pretty much everything, so we know where you are in the whole pipeline or the whole funnel. And could even send a direct message that might kind of help push you through, whether it's like if you've ever been to Amazon.com and you put something in your shopping cart but never finished the purchase.
Yeah.
Amazon, they come and find you.
Yeah,
right?
you get an
they
email.
Know where you were in their funnel.
Did you forget? Did you forget something in the cart? Yeah. Interesting. I just learned something new.
That's good.
How did COVID affect you or your business?
Well, the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic was harsh, right? We have a lot of resort clients. They closed down. The island was shut down for 3.5 months. Some of our clients didn't open up even right away or fully for several months. So immediately, as a matter of fact, I haven't taken a salary since last February. We made a decision we had to cut a little bit, both in staff numbers, but also in salaries. Everyone took 50% right away. It was a team effort. We all got together in the middle of March and said, okay, how are we going to get through this? We're not fully at 100%, which is why I still haven't taken the salary, just simply because I want to make sure that my team is where they should be or where they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we just started looking under every rock, every nook and cranny. I called people I hadn't spoken to in 20 years, whether they were in Aruba or in the U.S. or elsewhere. We just really tried to make new, let's call it new relationships or renewed relationships. We were able to help support other marketers in other regions. So we were able to do work for them that maybe weren't as impacted quite in the same way we were. Like if you're in the United States, yeah, they had a huge issue with deaths and COVID cases, but they weren't shut down as harsh as we were. When you cut the borders and no one's in or out,
right?
Nothing's moving, right?
Right.
They were able to continue working. We were able to support them with our marketing services. So, for instance, I had a woman in California that we helped build automation for her client. We got with a gentleman in Phoenix that we helped build from zero to over 450 marketers a Facebook page that uses products that we built. So we just found new ways to keep going. And, that was that was a fun time.
Still is. We're still in it. Still in it. It still doesn't want to go away, Ross.
No, I know.
Now, because you mentioned you had clients from the clients from California, even before the COVID, right? Before the pandemic. I would assume then, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you also have clients that are not only here in Aruba, they're also from outside of Aruba. Has that always been the case ever since the beginning? Was there a transitioning where, majority of your clients were local or the majority were non-local? Did you see an increase from locals and non-locals in specific periods of time? How is it now? So are you basically an international business?
Yeah.
Or it varies?
When I first started, no, it was all local at the time. When we moved from the States down, the couple of clients that I had were all really local from a small town. We lived in Virginia, so that I didn't keep on. When we moved to Curacao for 3 years, I did have Licores Maduro there. That's one of the largest, wine and liquor distributors as a client. That only stayed a little bit after I moved back to Aruba. It just made it easier for both of us. I would say still the majority, if not 95, close to 100% of my clients here in Aruba are from Aruba. Okay. What we did during COVID was we helped support. It wasn't so much like ongoing clients that we would have here where every month we're continually doing support for our local clients. It was more project-based stuff that we would do. So, for instance, in California, we haven't worked with for quite some time because she has gone in a different direction. I think the last thing we did for the gentleman in Arizona was in January. So, it's project-based stuff. When they need help, we're there. But, our continual focus is to try to help local businesses. So when COVID hit, one of the first things we did was we looked for ways to help our restaurants. And we came with digital menus, which are still actually being used by some of our clients here in Aruba now.
Right.
They never went back to paper menus. Right. If you go into a restaurant, you scan a QR code,
With
they use our menus.
with
So,
digital menus, you mean the QR codes and that kind of stuff when they use their phone and they open it up on the phone? I think he dropped. Let us see.
I think I lost.
No, Ari. No está aí.
I lost the connection.
Return to call. What was it?
Can you hear me?
No, it's reconnecting.
Can you hear me?
Jeff, Wi-Fi off key? No, joke it. I was at a drop. Ok, nos lo dale un call back aqui, mientras no se queda, pero botar que é interessante essa história, não? Me sei um par de coisas de marketing e em verdade, por mim, eu penso dessa maneira, post beautiful pictures agora, pero tem full strategy sutrás. Dus me também puntremos sobre também, para o como é se por conta nós o projeto não mais interessante que por conta nós de gele que ela fazem, especialmente na parte automation. Nós estamos chamando Ross, estou guardando para contestar para nos seguir, pero hopefully show tiki outro, pero naturalmente espero que nos tenha. Sim. Well, vou pegar a hora que eu botar começar, botar tirar o mês de conan inesperado. Bota bem com outro conan distinto, right? A curva de 13 é distinto, pero a la vez 13 informação que também pessoa que está escutando Florin Talk, episode número 10. We acaba. Sim, nós estou por bando de Haya Ross back. Ninguém mais sabe nos por meio marketing.
Sim.
Ok. Alright. Ela cosnos bateria de teléfono se foi. Dessa basic de recharge, mas né, llama-nos naturalmente se você não tem qualquer pergunta que você quer lançar para nós, você pode mandar em chat de live feed, que você vai escrever Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, nós temos duas plataformas, né? Mientras tanto, me querem nos repurbar também. Outra pergunta não que nos lo tem para nós, mas lo interessante também para o na final de dia, que ela se chama tem 20 anos que tem, se negócio em 21 anos, ela visa não? Sim. Dus, sim, a nós tem 4.
Estamos chega 20 no ar.
Sim, assim não mesmo. Dus, mas lo interessante para o que ela se chama los de COVID se está tem outros challenges nang você que ela encontrar um mês de gele me tá interessante você que mais que todo outro serviço nang pero por tem 20 anos de tempo, right? Ela passa dor de começar com o website, right? Depois ela vai na mobile marketing, me tem medo de encontrar por lá se se você aware de temporada nang de SMS messages en dergelijke.
Sim.
Of zit aan me zo. Ross, you there?
yes, I am. It seemed my phone shut down, so I had to restart it. So it took a couple minutes.
Okay, no, we're cool. We were able to.
Can you mute the...
Is it
Yeah, I have everything. I have the computer off and the microphone, just the phone right now.
Maybe I'll just switch or move my phone a little bit further here from the console. Yeah. Okay. Let's. We were talking about COVID, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
No. Did we finish the COVID part? I don't remember where we were. That's so sad.
we were just at digital menus.
Oh, the digital menus. Well, it was a little bit related to COVID. Yeah. So the digital menus were the QR codes, among other things, that you guys did for your different clients. Is there any specific? What is like the coolest gadget or automation? My God, automation that you guys did for a client.
We've done a couple of pretty cool ones. We've
Well,
one resort where
we're
built
here,
their
sir.
website. I'm sorry?
No, we're all ears to listen to those
Oh.
those cool things that you did.
All right. Well, we had one restaurant group where we actually built a complete CMS package, which was all their websites were managed in a content management system that they would just log into and make the changes in the back end. But we kept including, it took a couple of years to build, but we had everything from human resources to inventory to purchasing to agendas for their meetings. It was huge. Another client, a resort client here, we built their website, but then we integrated it with their property management system, which allowed their timeshare owners to be able to log in, make payments, check their reservation or modify their reservation. And we're just now switching them over to a brand new upgraded version of that. So we've done the larger projects like that all the way down to just automated chatbots. As a matter of fact, if you go to Post Aruba, the post office here, and you go to their website or on Facebook, that messenger automated system is one we built for them.
Okay, pretty cool. And going back to the timeshare customer that you had, the payments, because you said that they can make payments online through the website?
That's correct.
Which platform is it used? Is it the local, the one from that the local banks here offer, or is it another platform that's being used for the e-payments?
Yeah, it's another one because the software that they use for their property management system uses a payment processor already, so it's kind of tied to that. So our API tool deals directly with that. But we are launching a new project here in the next month and a half, 2 months, and we are using CXPay specifically for online payments.
Okay, and how's the experience between those two, or the different alternatives of e-payments? Is it obviously you guys do the technical details, but how does the client feel about that now that the payments can be made automated?
Oh well, it's extremely helpful because otherwise it's email and the communication's a lot different. It's slower. It's hard to track stuff. So if they can automate the system where the owner logs directly in, they can check it themselves. They don't need to bother anybody on our side. Payments are the same way, and then the payment information goes directly to the correct department, the correct person. If they buy an amenity, it goes to that department. So it does smooth out and ease the communication process for sure.
Okay, interesting. I believe you also made the website for a pizza company here on the island?
Yeah, well, we didn't actually build it. Yes, Domino's Pizza has been a client of ours for over 5 years and have a phenomenal relationship with them. And we helped implement the launch of their mobile app and their website.
Okay.
Although the development is strictly from the corporate side, but we do help them and maintain it every month with the new offers and the graphics and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Interesting. And what was I gonna say? And let us look here at the list. Now, when the what's it called again? When your phone cut off, we were talking about one of the interesting that we noticed was in 20 years, you see how a lot of things has changed, right? So you started from website building to mobile marketing. I was even making a joke to Arlene if she's if she knows what SMS are. So and then obviously you move to a little bit of social media marketing and now to automation. But that's a lot of changes in 20 years, Ross.
Yes, and actually, those are general changes. You can sort of group them into like social media, but every social media platform has its own changes, its own way of doing things, and so incrementally you're learning at each one as they come on, but then they continually change also. So if Facebook makes one change here, Instagram does something different over here, WhatsApp does something over there. So it's it's a lot of changes on almost a day-to-day basis, actually.
Would a company need all the social media platforms? Or it depends?
They need to be where their customers are. So in our case, I don't see a lot of people using Twitter as an example in Aruba. So
right, correct. Aruba,
Yeah,
Twitter is very unpopular as of now.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that
exactly.
it's going to change, but I see.
You have to know your customers well enough to know where they are and then be there.
Okay. And in your experience here in Aruba, what do you think is the most popular platforms, even though it depends on clients?
Well, even though all the talk says, no one's on Facebook anymore, that's not really true. There's a lot of people still on Facebook.
Where did you hear that?
Instagram. Certain circles here, maybe it's the older generation, I don't know, but I still find clients there. So I think, Facebook is popular, but not as popular as Instagram. And of course, TikTok is huge, but it's huge in a different way and maybe for the different market. So again, if your clients are me, you probably wouldn't find me on TikTok. But if it's a younger crowd or, so again, it all comes down to knowing your avatar, your demographic, and then knowing where they hang out, and then try to do a good job of providing them good content in the locations they're hanging out.
So TikTok. I mean, I'm not on TikTok. I haven't done a vid. Well, you can probably see me on TikTok because my niece, she does some videos of TikToks and uploads it on her account. But obviously the popularity of TikTok is growing very much. So in that case, maybe if there are specific products that are related to teenagers, a company would use TikTok then?
Well, honestly, I start to, we are doing some research in it for one of our clients. So we do dabble, and I will go in there and jump around and kind of see who's doing what and what kind of content. But I'm starting to see more and more content being provided, even to people like myself, about how to use TikTok, from like how to create certain things or how to go viral and trend. So from a novice standpoint, that's good information. So does that mean I'm the only one? No, I'm sure that there's other people like myself who aren't as familiar with TikTok. They can learn from that. But it also helps me to be able to educate my customer and say, well, I really think we can do this, and here's why, and here's what we can do to help you out. And then other reasons why I don't think you should do that, So it takes, again, like I said, educating yourself constantly, like what's happening and how are they using it. If it's just trending because you're doing the latest dance, you probably won't see me there. But if it's, getting tips or giving tips and that helps, then sure. It could be, if my demographic are looking to learn from me about marketing and they're on TikTok, I can see where that'd be a viable place for me to be.
Yeah, so in your specific case, you're going to be everywhere because you need to do the research. So you can tell me whether I should be on TikTok or not.
We'll have a conversation, yes.
Was that a challenge for you?
I'm sorry, was there a challenge or was it a challenge?
Was that a challenge? So you're not going to be necessarily intrigued to be on TikTok, but you have to be because it's your job or it's part of your, the research that you need to do as a marketeer.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I found TikTok pretty easy to use. I was easily able to share videos that I thought were relevant for my team. So I'm constantly showing them things that I say, hey, we should learn how to do this, or this is someone showing us how to do that. So it could be educational, and I'm starting to use it a little bit more from a research standpoint. But I think just like most of any of the social media platforms out there, there's probably 95% of it we all haven't gotten into yet. So there's still a lot to learn, and I'm not ready to pull the trigger on TikTok just yet. But I do know enough now to have a conversation about it.
Okay, let's talk about LinkedIn. Professionally, what is your opinion about LinkedIn?
I probably don't do it as much as I should personally. So I know that for a fact. From a business to business perspective, I probably will start doing more. It's actually come up in team meetings we've had in the last couple of months about, getting out there a little bit more often and showing up on LinkedIn.
Right.
Our new project will also be on LinkedIn for different reasons, but mainly because you're talking to the right people, right? So people like yourself who, knows what they need help with, and might find someone like me that it can help you with your marketing, for instance, or your automation, or different, or making the relationships. You might start following somebody that you didn't know, and then realize that they're actually in an area that could help you either improve yourself or improve for even clients. So we do that often as well. If we find someone that we want to learn more from, we'll just follow that person and continue to grow that relationship.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because my view is basically the same. I'm not, as a company, I am not on it as much as I should be, even though that's exactly the target market that you wanna try to pursue, because obviously all the professionals are gonna be there. All the different articles, the things that they post are very professional. It's not related to anything. Hey, what am I eating or anything related to that? Or I went to the club. It's nothing that's very professional, but I'm not on it as much as I should. I've tried it in the past, but I also thought that it was, especially if you want to promote or boost certain posts, it's more expensive compared to to the traditional social medias such as Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So and obviously then it also kind of pushes you away a little bit, even though it shouldn't, because that's the target market that you should be reaching out to. So I know it's counterintuitive, but I thought it was a little bit interesting because you want to be on it, but still you're being pushed away a little bit.
Well, I'll give you an algorithm you'll probably enjoy just because you're into that kind of stuff. The AOV, so the average order value of a client or customer, depending on how you look at it, should be your advertising budget. So, for instance, if you're in a service industry that where people are paying a lot of money for your services, you need to look at what that is and use that as your marketing budget, right? So, if it's a $10 item, okay, so it's but the average order is one thing. And lifetime, they talk about lifetime value. It's kind of hard to really know what that is, because someone might come in for 3 months or stay for 3 years. But it is important to understand what your AOV is, and then use that because listen, put it this way, you can also not even break even, but maybe even spend more if you know that, if someone's paying you $1,000 a month, if you could spend up to $1,000 or even $1,200, if you have them for 2 months, you've profited, right? You've made a profit. So it's understanding what that is, and then building a funnel that helps you get the right person into your funnel, your pipeline, and then knowing how much you can spend. You don't want to spend $5,000 if what you could make is only about $1,000, right? You want to know what that is, but you have to understand what that is in the beginning before you start even putting the idea to paper.
That is a very interesting concept that you bring forward. What is the budget for? In my case specifically, what I'm bringing forward is the budget for startups and small and medium businesses. How much should they spend? Usually there's specific benchmarks, but both those benchmarks are for bigger companies. But here you're a startup. How much should I be able to budget and allocate for social media marketing or other type of advertising? So what you just brought is interesting, because now it makes you think, maybe there is a specific way in terms that I can think about it and specify how much I should be spending in marketing. So quite interesting stuff there, Ross.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned during your time as a businessman, entrepreneur, work experience?
I can tell you,
separate from the pandemic, maybe.
I can tell you. Well, I can tell you just overall, I think one of the most important lessons I've learned is how well you treat your team. I'm nothing without my team. I mean, there's a lot of things I know, but you're only as strong as your weakest player, right? If you're thinking sports analogy, and I do everything I can to make sure that my team not only feels like they're a part of the team and they're valuable, but I make sure that the feeling that they have, both from a personal and professional standpoint, are addressed and taken care of. So I'm not just a boss. I really am your teammate, and we're doing things together because there are certain things that I just can't do or choose not to because I don't like it. And I find someone who's really strong and able to take care of those things so I can focus on the things that I'm really good at and that they can rely on me to do my part in that. I've had people that have been with me for many years, and I think that's just, it shows why it's important to have 20 years in the business. Of course, when I first started off, I was an Amazon, it was just me, and I would outsource here and there project stuff. But at a certain point, you've got to build your team to be able to grow your company. So I think that's probably the most important thing. And then maybe even taking that one step further and treating your clients pretty much the same as you do your team, because without them, you're nothing, right? But then without them, without us, I had a very interesting meeting not too long ago because one of our clients, someone that was in the organization high up, passed away. So I went to one of my clients and I said, what happens if that happens to you? What happens next? And he explained to me all the things that were in place, so on and so forth. But what he said to me was very interesting. He said, I'm actually more worried about what happens to you because you guys do a lot of things that we don't know. We don't know how to do. We don't know how to, we wouldn't know where to start from day one if something ever happened to you.
Yeah.
So it proved the point that you can be very integral with your clients, even if they're the client relationship as opposed to being hired on as an employee. And that's a great feeling. It just shows that we've done a good enough job that they really feel that we have a huge impact on their company. Yeah.
I think initially there's a lot of books, a lot of theories saying the most important thing in business is your clients. Well, yeah, it is, but it's also your employees, right? Like you stated, without your employees, you're not going to be able to produce and serve your clients. So, and I think that mentality is changing in the last few years. So special section that we're going to jump into, especially for you. Okay. You're the second one who's going to be part of this process. But before we go there, do you have any tips for startups, entrepreneurs, based on...
In digital marketing.
In digital marketing, yeah, true. Good point, thanks, Ellen.
Well, I think some of the things we've discussed are probably really important. And I'll go back to Avatar because that seems to be the one thing that, as long as I've been doing this, no matter who I read or who I listen to, they all say the exact same thing, and that's know who your customer is. And as a startup, you can't expect that just because you think it's a cool idea and you're going to build a product that's going to do X, Y, Z, that everyone else is going to feel the exact same way.
Right.
So it's researching that market that you want to get into, studying them, finding out what it is that they need. I think the easiest way to create a product is just to ask, what are the pain points you have? And then you going back and figuring out how to fix those pain points. Because if they tell you that, like what happened at the restaurant, with COVID, everyone was scared of touching stuff. So you need a digital menu that you don't have to touch anything. Scan it and go from there. So it's asking the questions, surveying the prospective market you want to be in, and then asking them what hurts, and then try to find ways to make it not hurt anymore.
Okay.
So that's a great way to start the product process. And then from a digital marketing standpoint, digital assets are very important. If you do get to that point where you know what you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, make sure you have the domain, make sure you have an Instagram account that with your brand, make sure you have the Facebook, make sure you have because if someone else has it, it makes it very difficult for you to continue in that vein. So digital assets are very important because once you have them, then if you had someone like myself or someone to help you to actually build out your marketing, it makes it a lot easier once you have the assets in place.
One question, because you just brought it forward, and I have another question. Are websites still important?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Just wondering. I think so
Mobile
too, but
make sure they're mobile just make sure they're mobile optimized, because that's the only hindrance. If you're going to spend money to build a website, and I'll tell you, I just saw one on a prospective client, and the point is that if they know you have a website and they go there, and it doesn't suit their needs, and most people are on phones,
right,
you've lost, right?
Yeah.
So that would be one big tip on the website side.
Okay, after we're done with the show, I'm gonna see if my website is mobilized or not. I believe it is. All right, let's go to our last section of the show here. Ross, obviously a lot of interesting stuff that you brought forward. Now, you gotta give us some what is it? You gotta be a little patient with us here, because obviously we have the questions in papiamento. But we're going to try to translate it to the best of our knowledge and little time that we have here. So bear with us. Like we said, the Lucky 21 questions talks a little bit about yourself and your business. Short answers, rapid fires, no big explanation. Yes, they're not necessarily yes and no, but they're going to be 1 or 2 word answers. Okay? So you ready for it?
Okay.
All right.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
All right. So are you a risk taker?
Yes.
Who do you admire?
Oof. Jim Rohn, but he's not alive anymore. Somebody I followed before. Who do I admire? My wife, my kids. I actually, my mom. I know that seems cliche, but considering what she's been through and the strength that she shows, anything's possible. So.
It's not the cliche, because that would have been my answer too. So I'm with you.
Who is a social media influencer that is killing it?
Is killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I only know of a couple local. Zion is one, and Eldrick, Nutsbeats, DJ Nutsbeats. Those are 2 that I know of and follow.
Okay. Cool. Let me see here. Are you a morning or a night person?
Night.
Night? Oh, interesting.
What does annoy you more?
Oh, there's no multiple choice for that?
No. Straight answer. Open question.
Okay. I think the most annoying thing is clients who want it today, and then when you do your part, and then you're waiting 6 months for their part. That would be the next.
We can relate.
We can relate, yes. How many books have you read this year, Ross?
This year? Not as many. 5.
Say that again? I think you broke up.
Yeah, 5. I
5.
think.
Okay, 5. Got it. Okay.
From a scale from 1 to 10, how awesome are you in digital marketing?
Cool. Well, there's always room for improvement, so I would say a 9.
Oh, 9. All right.
And why not a 10?
Well, like I said, there's always room for improvement. I mean, we do things with automation that most people haven't thought of yet. So, but if I were to say that and you don't know what it is, kind of hard to say, well, is it really, that awesome? So.
Okay. All right. We got you. If you, do you own a yacht? No, you don't own a yacht, right? Any case, if you had a yacht, what would you name it?
Oh, Lulu.
Lulu. All right.
Which technology will transform future?
Well, I'll stick with what I know. I think funnel automation right now is what's, just blowing up. We're doing so many cool things with our CRM, our customer relationship management tool, on all the different ways we can, automate things, and tagging and triggers, and it's just awesome. So I don't know. Outside of that, it could be a lot of different things, but that's where my main focus is.
Okay, cool. What is your best skill that you have?
Public speaking.
Okay.
Do you want to become
Where are we? How many hours a day do you work?
Oh. When don't I work? Because it's, my own business. I can be seen
That's exactly why we ask it.
I don't even know if I can quantify it. I mean, I work my normal. I'll come in around between 9:30 and 10, and I'll stay till like 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
But even at night, like I'm in there watching the Olympics, and I'm on my laptop, updating a proposal. Or most of what I can do is from my phone. I have our project management tool is mobile app, so I can communicate with my team. So it's a constant, ongoing thing, but a lot of hours.
Okay, fair enough.
What's the biggest strength of your company?
I'm sorry, the biggest?
Strength.
Oh, biggest strength. I would actually say experience. We've been doing this for a long time, so I think there's not too many questions out of left field that we can't field and help. So,
Okay. What do you do when you don't work? What do you do for fun?
Well,
Let me rephrase that.
yeah, right. I think family time, spending time with my wife, quiet time. She's in a high pressure job too, so it's a lot more fun to just chill.
She comes to you, and then you relieve some of the pressure.
Right. Exactly.
If money wasn't an issue, would you work?
Yes. I love what I do. I have too much fun with it.
I feel you. How do you motivate your employees?
Surprisingly, I don't feel like I need to motivate. I really have great rapport with everybody. I don't know. I think, I don't know if this is under the guise of motivation, but I really take an active role in finding out how they are in their personal life, and I do things that are very different. Like, I had someone working for me who wasn't in Aruba, and for their anniversary, just got them a room at, a hotel nearby that they go and spend for their anniversary. Those little things that just, it's not like in a handbook that says, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
That is part of motivation.
By knowing what, yeah, exactly.
All right. So beside your passion about digital marketing, do you have any other passion?
Love dogs.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you're right. I remember.
Oops.
We have 4 here, and we just 2 fosters that just left, so keeps us busy.
What is your greatest fear as a business owner?
Wow. Well, I would say probably losing a client that I really love. If I lose a client that I really don't love, then it's okay.
And there too.
I'm like you asked about risk taking, and if I lost everything today, I'd start over and and figure out what didn't work and keep and move in a different direction if I needed to. So I don't really have a fear per se.
Remember, it's rapid fire clients answers, right?
All right.
We got a couple more here.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
When you were little, what was your dream job?
I wanted to play professional soccer. That was my that was my dream as a kid.
Professional soccer.
I don't know if that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I was big into that.
Who was your favorite soccer player?
Lionel Messi probably is one of my favorites.
Okay. Well, that wasn't part of my question. I just added it on, actually. But we'll make it a question. Don't worry.
I got it.
That was 20. I think we got one more. Do you want to do the last one, or should we do... Doesn't matter. No, I think, we got 2 more. Right? Yeah. Okay, so I can choose one of these. Do you have a favorite saying or quote?
Everything happens for a reason.
All right. And we have our last question. You ready for it?
What's the theme song from your life right now?
Yeah, do you have a theme song? What would it be? Or favorite song? What song would tell you how you feel at this moment in your life?
Lord, I think you should prompt somebody ahead of time so you have some time to think about it. Well, the hardest thing is remembering a theme song, period, let alone find one that actually matches where you are.
It can be a song. It can be a song too. I'll give you some flexibility there.
Yeah, well, I'm already stuck on Friends. That's the only, I don't know why.
You want to sing it here? Make it interesting. Next time.
even a favorite song might be difficult.
Any case, Ross. We do appreciate you being part of the Lucky 21 Questions, but also being part of this show, the podcast. Like we said in the beginning, it was last minute, so we appreciate very much that you were able to hop on and give us some interesting concepts and how do you say it? Information about digital marketing that we, obviously that we were not aware. We don't hear every day about it. So a lot of interesting stuff. So we do appreciate you having you on the show here on our 10th episode.
Thank you so much, Ross.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So I don't know if you have any last words.
Well, no, it worked out beautifully, and I'm glad I was available, like I mentioned earlier, just simply because it helped you out. Obviously, we're good friends, and I had to put a shirt on, so that was probably a good thing.
Yep. And we obviously, you can see that we make use of technology. You were not able to make it in the studio, but we were still able to dial in via the remote application that Jeff is using here in this wonderful Soppy Mix studio. So indeed, we were able to make it work.
Yeah.
Ross, thank you once again. I'm going to switch over to Papiamento so that we can do our closing of the show. Dus naturalmente nos que agradecer por gente a tune in de nos show di ave tarde. Arlen, interessante?
Hope interessante.
A lot of new stuff, right?
Sim. Algo diferente e me quero seguro que sim. Me quero nos lo por hacerle. Outro biana, outro ainda não for.
Correcto, sí, exactamente. Esta abre...
persona especial.
Ba't yung persona especial?
Sim.
Ah, ok, well, después de show nos a conversar hoy. No, sí, naturalmente esta abre avenida nang pa outro invitees nang kutambe nos por llama. Dus nos tabe llama Bill Gates petambe tune in ku Elon Musk, ku Jeff Bezos, nandayan po doon ng feedback. Pero no, siguro naturalmente nos agradecemos por gente que tune in. Otsimang nos nothing show pa sobra team vacation time. Dia 17 nos ting Giovanni Bermudez di Eclectic Partners. August 24 nos ting Frederik Nuber, que nos tremendo informação over die belasting. Augustus 31 nos tem companhia Trilogy, que é uma companhia que faz rentals, pero também events. Dus zijn Shamir com a Jet Cruz. September 7 nos tem eta by bing esse man aqui ding Soppy Mix, pero eta back também conosco ding FLORIN Talk, nos tem Hero Henriquez di Atia, nota din conosco September 7 e seita nos casual para agora aqui Dus a lot of interesting guests coming up on ons otro show nang. Dus espero que você também por tune in de otsimang, remind otsimang nos notei. Ochor, Jeff, ochor toch? Nos ting unfuckable wit. Espero que bom. Junto com Jennifer, com Andy, dus tune in na sei também. Pro mim lubida, mi mestre manda wink para gente que apontará mi PC. Dus nós te agradeci tu gente que tune in. Arlen, danki para co-host di ave tarde. Vamos a last minute of course, but we made it happen.
Thank you, Ross.
Ross ainda.
Thank you.
Ross, once again, thank you. Very much appreciated, like we said it. So, have a good night, everybody. Tu gente, passa boa noite. Nos tune out. Aqui 2 semanas da back.